Welcome to the Golden Square Podcast with your hosts, Linda Scott and Sharilyn Fisher. Are you ready? Because we're starting right now, only on Stunner Radio, the heart and soul of the culture.
Hey. So listen, this has been a crazy day. And Sharilyn and I were just talking about, well, we ain't gonna tell you what we was talking about. But anyway, we were having a crazy day. So welcome to the Golden Square Podcast, where I am Linda Scott and my co-host is
Sharilyn Fisher.
All right, so we're here with the beautiful, y'all. When I say the beautiful, and don't just look at her outside, because her inside is absolutely gorgeous. The Karen Gray. Yeah, so I want to get right in because she has so much that she has to offer. Yeah, so all in and this yeah. So if our producer would bring her in, let's go. Hey, beautiful.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well. What about y'all?
Oh, she said y'all. So where you from?
Lafayette, Louisiana, of course. We haven't normalized y'all yet. I don't really thought we did.
Girl, I still ain't got y'all in it yet.
Oh my goodness. So y'all gonna tease me about my accent, I see.
Girl, listen. Girl.
Oh, thank you.
Karen,
Yes.
I want to tell everybody how you and I met 100,000 years ago, but you still look beautiful, and Cheryl and I are aging those years. But so do you want me to? No, you tell it, because you tell how we met. I'll see.
I was on vacation in Miami, minding my business. And my cousin was like, oh my God, you need to meet this lady. You should model. She does plus modeling. I'm like, me? Model? No, I'm way, way, way too shy. So while I'm visiting, Miss Linda shows up. She didn't tell me Miss Linda was coming. She did not tell me I'm inviting her. I had told her no, I was going to pass. So Miss Linda shows up, we meet, and 6 weeks later, I'm back in Miami for a show.
Yeah, she did.
I got shoved into modeling.
Well, here's the thing is that your cousin told me, like, I don't know how many times that she has this cousin, and Linda, you really should see her. And then I'm like, that's it. Yeah. Okay. All right. So she said, no, for real. I'm like, okay, whatever. Yeah. Well, when is she coming? Because I'm not going to Louisiana. So she said, when she comes, I'm going to make sure that you meet her. And then mind you that her cousin and I stayed right down the road from each other. So when Karen arrived, she called me, what you doing? I said, what you want? She was like, my cousin is here, but I can't talk too loud, so come on down. I said, girl, I'm not going to be bothered with you and your family. So I said, okay, I'm coming. Now, y'all, look, y'all, I'm keeping with you, Karen. Y'all, now look. I walked into the door and Karen was in the bedroom and there was two other young ladies out.
My cousins.
Yes. And I said, okay, all right. Okay. So she said, no, I want you to meet my other cousin. I said, who? Karen walked out the door. I said, shut up. Shut
You're making me blush, Miss Linda. Stop.
Well, that's what took place. Am I lying? Because that's what took place. Okay.
No, you're not lying.
So when she walked in, I said, oh my Jesus. I immediately started talking to her about the modeling game. And she was, as she said, shy. And she would give me some answers. I said, I'm not falling for that right there.
I did not want to do that at all. I did not want to do
all
it.
the way. And I immediately picked up the phone. I don't even think I got out of your cousin's house before I called a couple of people. I took a picture. It was raw. She had no makeup on. This girl was naturally beautiful. And I took that picture and I sent it to a couple of people. And one of the designers named Braymond Leon. I don't know
Yes,
if you
I
tell.
remember. I remember him very well.
Braymond said, Linda. I said, yes. Who is that? I said, I ain't gonna tell you just yet. I'm gonna let you suffer. I said, but isn't she gorgeous? He was like, oh my God. He was so ready to make her his signature model. That's all he ever talked about. I was getting phone calls. Okay, now Linda, where is she? Is she gonna be? I said, it's on. I said, we can't let her just go. I said, I did say in her defense that she is shy. He was like, oh no, we got to get that out of her.
And he fussed at me the whole time at that fashion store. You need to have more confidence. Do you know what you look like? I was like,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I've been looking like this all my life. I know what I look like.
Oh, he was fussing at me. He was fussing.
But it wasn't that she didn't know what she looked like, and it wasn't that she didn't have any confidence in herself. She was just absolutely gorgeous, and she was shy. And shy people don't see what everybody else see in them. And she's like 5'10", the curve, bam, bam, bam. I was like, for real? But it's those people in your category that are shy, that are absolutely beautiful, that have everything to bring to the table. And when I say everything, your personality is amazing.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
I fell in love with you that day. And for you telling me no, I loved it.
Because I didn't want to do it. I really didn't. But just in reflection of everything, that really changed my life. It really did.
That was my question. Did
Oh,
that get you out of your shyness?
Oh, it changed my life. I wouldn't say it completely pulled me out of shyness because I still somewhat I have a tiny bit of shyness, but I public speak now. I speak in front of audiences, and I really credit this experience with modeling to this.
Oh, wow.
So just thinking back, I don't think I was so confident, right? Like maybe I just hadn't thought about it. Because you know how society is, right? I'm a plus woman. I don't see myself in magazines. I don't, it was a different world. So when I got to the plus community, it changed everything because people were just like you. Oh my God, I love your body. I want your body. You're so sweet. It was a whole bunch of just things pouring into me. Wow. And it made me take a second look at myself, right? Because confidence, even though it starts on the inside,
right,
you have people pouring into you in a positive way, it kind of starts to change the way you look at yourself.
So you started seeing yourself as other people saw you.
I kind of did. I started saying, well, wow, people look up to me, but why? I couldn't understand. I'm like, why are they looking up to me? I'm brand new at this. I don't really like runway at all. I'm doing it for Miss Linda Scott. So what's happening right now? So I can honestly tell you that it definitely evolved me into a completely different person in my other career as well. So I moved into administration, and I have to talk in front of a group of people. I have to be able to present to my staff, and I really don't think I would have been able to do that. So I'm so thankful that I was forced, pushed, shoved into the modeling world because I really think it evolved me to the woman that I am today, honestly. So
we're happy.
Karen, your bio says prior plus size model. You ever think you do that again? You ever model again?
No. Yeah.
I think that I might do some print modeling, print. Yeah. I like print. It's not as demanding. But I don't know. I don't think I would go back to runway.
Well, I don't think that so everybody who stands 5'10", 5'11", 6 feet, that is beautiful as yourself necessarily needs to be on the runway because the runway calls for a lot of things. And your specialty, sweetie, has always been print. And to the world who's looking at this young lady right here, her beauty is not the outside. Her beauty came from the inside and it still comes from the inside. So when you see her, you go, oh, she's pretty. She is. But when you get to talk to her, then you go back and say, oh my gosh, she's gorgeous. You see the beauty.
The most important thing. Most important
That's
thing.
most important. And then for you being into or so that you were so politely that accepted being in the modeling field, you still helped other young ladies to come out of their shell. And I remember you starting the agency. I said, look
Yes.
at this young lady who don't want to be in this right
Yes.
here,
See,
but
so that's what I'm saying. It pulled me into
it
something else
did.
that I did
It
not
did.
even see.
It
It really
did.
did.
And you did a great job in doing that. So you're teaching, you was teaching at one time, right?
Yeah, I was teaching. Now I consult full time. But yes, I was in the teacher world, administrator, and then now I currently run my own consulting, education consulting. So I support school districts. So yes,
Okay. See,
transition.
that's what I'm talking about right there. It's the, I'm telling you, it's the brains inside of that beautiful shell
But
that
that's
you
what I'm
see.
telling you, Miss Linda. If I didn't have confidence, if I didn't get pushed into something to test, you have to get uncomfortable to get comfortable sometimes. And
Right,
if I had
right,
not grown through that shy, not wanting to be in front of crowds, not liking to be seen, because I remember as a young child playing basketball too, I would get so nervous in front of a crowd. Like I love to play, but when it
right.
was time to run out, come out, like it was like this anxiety out of this world, like everybody's gonna be looking at me. So like I've always had this complex about people looking at me. But modeling makes you comfortable with people looking at you.
Looking
And I
at
think,
you.
yeah, it
Yeah.
transitioned me into be able to be a professional, to be able to provide, teaching and learning for educators and get in front of a crowd and talk comfortably without being nervous.
But you know
That's a
what?
skill set.
I am glad you said that because I was talking to a friend of mine and I was telling him, we were talking about the long dresses versus the short dresses. And of
Okay.
course, I wanted the long dresses. And he was like, why? So people could see your legs. I'm like, listen, I played ball and I was afraid that people was going to be looking at my legs. And I'm so
Mm-hmm.
glad you said that because nobody understood what I was saying. It's not that I didn't have the confidence, but I was out to play ball. Y'all supposed to watch my talent, not watch my legs. And I would hear about, oh my God, you got some pretty legs. I'm like, why are you looking at my legs? You know, that made me nervous. And
Right.
then when I got into the modeling back in 1982, the first thing that they wanted to put me in was a swimsuit. Oh my God, have mercy, Jesus.
And who
I
else?
said,
Who else panicked like that when you asked them to do bathing suit modeling? Who
yeah.
else?
I
No.
said, y'all gonna be looking at, no, they're gonna be looking at my legs. No, they can look at the swimsuits. No, they're not. They're gonna be looking at my legs. Don't lie to me. Don't lie. And I felt just what you felt or how you was feeling during that time frame. But it was just so crazy for me to accept you looking at my legs.
Right.
I
Right.
understand. And I played volleyball and I played softball. It was a ball, I
Yep.
played it. But
Mm-hmm.
why y'all looking at? Just look at what I'm supposed to be doing. I couldn't get that part. But then the Almighty God turned a whole lot of things around because that stopped me from being such a tomboy to being I could say the young lady that I end up being.
Gotcha. Yes.
So and then to instill in other young ladies such as yourself, I guess these are the things that we had to go through in order to take you through it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
An
yeah,
evolution, an evolution. And my business was called 3K Evolution because during that time I knew I was evolving into a different person because being a model wasn't me. So
yeah,
I knew I was evolving for some reason. I didn't quite know the reason why, but I knew that. I knew
right.
evolution was a key word. And it
Okay.
certainly has come to pass. It has manifested itself.
And you're doing such a great job in everything that you're doing.
So how did you
Thank
get from
you.
the classroom, from being a teacher in the classroom to your business?
How much time we got? Okay. Long story short, 10 years in the classroom, was ready to transition into administration, did that, enjoyed it, loved it. opportunity came about for me to work for a company in New Orleans that was a sales company. That was another time in my life that I had some evolution happen to me. So during that 2 years, like I knew God was working on me for something, y'all. Like, you know how you just know, and like he
No.
starts to show you things and put things
Yes.
in your path. But what was the best thing is that he was telling me, hey, some things are going to start happening. You may not understand them, just prepare, because he know I got anxiety. He know I get nervous, and he knows that I need a warning. But I could
Mm.
see things unfolding. So I had a boss who was racially insensitive. Okay, we had a lot of conversations about things that I feel she needed to be talked to about it. So I was trying to work through that with her. I could spot it dead on. I had to talk with her through it. But during that time, because you know that can make you angry and upset, right? But you
Right.
have to realize that in order to capture someone's attention, sometimes you can't fight with them. You have to kind of walk alongside them through whatever it is they're going through, even
Right.
though I was offended by some of the
Right.
things that she said. So he took me through that path, and I knew I wanted to do like kind of like race work. Like I wanted to do diversity, equity, inclusiveness. I've always been good with students and their behavior. That's like that's my thing. So I wanted to do something in that path, and I was like, God, what are you leading me to with this woman?
Mm.
What is it about her? You have me right here at this time, and I see a transition. What's going on? So
Wow.
I walked through all that stuff with her, went through a very nasty firing. I got fired from my job because she made a comment. I called her out on the comment, which I told my husband I would do 10 times again, you know, because it was
Right.
just what I needed to do, and I couldn't allow it to happen.
Right.
So that incident pushed me into my own business. And 3 weeks later, I had my first contract. 3 weeks.
Wow.
3 weeks.
So that
3 weeks.
preparation,
Yeah,
that
prepare,
that
prepare
Oh,
to work with some
absolutely,
people. Yeah.
absolutely.
everything about that situation was prepping me. I had already started my business, right? I had registered it like 2 years before. I was doing little snippets, but y'all know when y'all starting something new, fear is like
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's
it's
right.
eating. So
Yeah.
I know that even though that situation hurt me to the core, I struggled through it for many, many months. I know that it was a stepping stone for something greater. Like I
Right.
realized that.
Right.
So that's how
That's
I landed right here.
uh so that oh my God. You actually I see me when I see you. Because the things that you have gone through and the preparation that God was getting me prepared for was totally it was what you said, because I had one of those supervisors too, and she was a November baby and I'm a November baby,
Mm,
and she was my supervisor. But I want you to know that you are my supervisor, and the word is that you came to clean up our station.
mm,
So by
mm-hmm.
me saying and hearing that, let me go to you and introduce myself to you, because you're strong and I am as well. I
Right.
will honor your position as my supervisor, but 1 minute after I get off, don't pick up the phone and call me and ask me about nothing. Don't do this. I am yours these 8 hours or 4 hours with whatever I chose to do.
Right.
So I went through that little, I'm gonna get fired kind of thing. Oh, okay, you sure? Is that what you want to do? Because this is not the person to do it with. And we went our rounds, and
Mm-hmm.
I could say you said 3 weeks for you. I think my making was probably about the same time frame.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a part of my 1426, because it had to make me tough and know how to handle people
Right.
when they come to me with the craziness of, no, we don't
100%.
want you with this, and no, we don't want your girls, and that. No, you're gonna get my girls. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
taught me a lot. It taught me how to be strong. And I actually, don't nobody text me or call me with this, but I actually sent her a thank you card,
Mm.
because if it had not been for you being as crazy as you were toward me, I would not be the person that I am. And if I ever said I had the most beautiful picture of myself. I don't even know if I ever took another picture that good again. But I had that picture on that thank you card. And when I didn't send it to her, I handed it to her.
Oh my.
Yes, yes. And girl,
I'm about to cry. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why my eyes tearing. My eyes is tearing because it's been a year. It's almost, today is the 29th. It's
yes.
6/21 was the date.
Mm,
I have been trying to figure out how to forgive this lady for a year. I've
mm,
been trying to, I know it needs to happen because God has been pressing. He has been showing me, you need to forgive, you need to let this go. This was a stepping stone. It was nothing to do with her. She did her purpose in your life has
yes,
been fulfilled and you're done with that, right?
yes.
I've been trying to figure out how to forgive her. Like, because for me, forgiveness is an act. I can
Mm,
feel inside that I've forgiven, but how can I show that I've forgiven her?
give it right.
So I was talking to a pastor about it, and he said he recommended. Well, he told me I could do it inside. I didn't have to send anything, but he recommended that, and so it didn't register as hard as when you just said it. Like, why don't I send her a thank you card?
Right, right.
Why?
Because
Why? That's easy.
yeah, yeah. She did like he said, and like you saying, her purpose was served. Her purpose was
Served.
to get
Served.
you out. First thing, if you go back and look back on that journey, God had already showed you the signs that He wanted you to leave.
He did.
He did. I
And it
know
was
it. I'm telling
ordered.
you.
Everything was ordered, and he
Yep.
even told me. That's the
Yeah.
part for me, is
Yeah.
that he was forewarning me. I had signs. He was very clear that
Yes.
something is coming. Just
Yes.
be prepared.
That's girl. I told you. I see you. I see me and you.
And I just had this very conversation with my 15-year-old because when she was a junior high school, her choir teacher she didn't treat us real fairly. And Gabby and I seen her in the grocery store, and I spoke to her. How Miss Appleby, how you doing? And Gabby, Mommy, why are you speaking to her? But I said, because you're going to have to forgive her because you're still holding that. And you're going to have to forgive her so you can move on.
And that's
Absolutely. That's how
what
I
we
feel
have.
right now.
For her, it's for
It's
you.
for you.
It
It's
is.
for you.
It is for me because I'm ready to release. I'm done. It's been a
That's
year.
it.
I've moved on, and I need to, but there's still that little nagging feeling, like
Nagging.
right
Yeah,
here.
right there.
Like,
Right
until I
there.
can do something,
Yes.
like, it's gonna help me release everything.
And it
I
will.
always tell people that love is an action word,
Yeah.
and so is forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
Agree.
Yeah.
Action word.
I
It is.
agree. I
Yeah.
agree with that.
When God showed me when everything took place, and this so my father was a minister, and my dad and I definitely was a daddy's girl, because I told daddy everything. So I was like, Dad, and I was a tomboy and I was a fighter. And what I had in my head, I wanted to fight. I even had told her that I'll be the one to throw you out the window. I did all those things. I said it. And he asked me, so did you take it to God? I said, I'm taking it to you. That's the next thing to God for me, is to take it to you.
Right.
And he said, okay, so now tell me what you want daddy to do. I said, I think you probably should pray for her, or you pray for me. I'm not sure. But prayer needs to be sent up. And I don't know, for somebody. Yeah, because I had gotten to the point mentally that I wanted to do something to you.
I understand.
When all of this was going forward, Karen, I'm looking at God, or not looking, but listening. And that was the time that my father was telling me, well, you know, God is talking to you, and God told me to tell you this. Daddy, listen, I know you're the preacher, and I can't disrespect him, but if God was going to tell me something, he'd have told me himself. He ain't had to send it through you, you know, and all this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But when God starts speaking to me, and I accept his word, I was like, oh, wait a minute, let me calm down a little bit. Let me calm down, because I can't do his work and be crazy as I was, because I'm
That's
not as crazy, but I'm
that's
crazy.
it. That's
Yeah,
it. That's
that's it.
exactly it. So he told me clearly, and I remember exactly where I was in my house when I heard from him.
Mm.
I was in the bathroom in my good thinking spot. He was like, how can you expect to teach people about biases and looking within themselves if you can't handle someone who
Mm.
clearly needs work in that department? So
Mm.
this is your growth. This is your opportunity. Practice with her. Practice
Yeah.
on her.
Yes.
We know she's your boss, so you can't respond in a certain way. You can't, just say everything you want to say. You can't hit her.
Right.
So try the other side of that. Try kindness, try
Mm.
understanding, try empathy, try conversations with her. So I tried those things. It was still hard, y'all. It really was. To hear
Yeah.
her say and do some of the things that she was saying and
Mhm.
doing was really hard for me to listen to and remain calm. But
Right.
I am proud to say that I feel like I was successful. Like
Right.
I never cursed her out. I
Right.
never hit her, which, like you
Yeah.
said, that
Yeah.
it was there. Like
It was there.
listen,
Yes.
when I was by myself, I was talking to myself, saying all kinds of stuff that I wanted to do.
Yes.
But I maintained control when I was in her presence, and I'm very proud of that. So
Good.
now I feel like if I walk into a room and I have to handle myself because we're talking about something that's uncomfortable for people, I think I can handle myself fine because of that time that I
Right.
went through.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a journey. That's a journey that when you become that life coach, what is that? How can you coach me and you
If you
haven't
can't
been
do it
through
yourself,
anything? Yeah,
you
you
can't
have
do it yourself.
you can. You have to go back and say, Sharilyn, I really wanted to do some things to you, but I appreciate everything that you took me through in order for me to make it to the top, because
Woo.
I wasn't ready for this. I didn't even know I could do this. And I say that
Absolutely.
to Linda all the time. I first started beginning to do things and go, oh my God, what if I say something incorrect with these young ladies? Like I had the girls that would call and say, hey, if it wasn't for you, I would have committed suicide. Girl,
Wow.
yeah, but I wanted to take the gun and commit suicide because I was like, okay, God, I didn't want
Right.
to get into this. Wait a
That's a
minute.
lot of power. That's a lot
Right.
of power for one person
Right.
to handle. Yeah.
Absolutely. So again, when I get those kind of calls, or Miss Linda, can I come and talk to you? Sure. And you give me that message, and I'm trying to smile through it. Oh, sugar, you're gonna be okay. And as soon as you leave, the tears.
Drained.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my
Emotionally
God.
drained.
I said,
Absolutely.
Lord, listen, Lord, I want to do whatever you want me to do.
Yep.
I surrender myself to you to
Yep.
put whatever it is that you have for me
Yep.
with these. But God, I ain't ready for this.
Look, I sit down. I've learned how to ask God when I'm ready, when I feel like I'm ready to move into something else and transition. I start asking him, I say, listen, I'm ready. Send me some challenges, because I know the challenge is going to come first. And then while I'm in the midst of asking for him, I'm like, Karen, what are you asking for? Like, are you
Right.
I chuckle.
What you asked for.
Exactly. And I'll start chuckling. I will start chuckling at myself because I ask and then I get scared and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. You can send it. And when I tell you, when I do that within days,
Yes.
something will show up. I'm like, wow.
Yes.
That has been life changing.
Yeah, you're stronger than me, because girl, listen.
Yes.
I know that I'm not supposed to be asking God a whole bunch of questions like that. Okay, Lord, I'm ready. Send them to me. No, not now. No. Amazing.
Look, whether I ask or not, he gonna send it. So
He
I'd
gonna
rather
send it,
ask.
but I don't want to ask, so he might send it too far in advance. No, Lord, wait, not yet.
Karen, I was telling my sister the other day, I said, my love and my passion has always been for children.
Yes.
It's mainly all the children. I say, but lately I'm getting the children, but I'm getting the parents too. Every one of my parents is a single mother, and every one of them got a problem, and they come to
That's right.
And
Hey, but they need it too.
yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I told you to send me the children.
No, because
The
guess
children
what?
I
The,
can't
the
send.
parent,
That's it.
but you getting what you asked for because the
Yes,
parent is
That's it.
directly connected to the child.
Right.
So if you
But
can help the parent,
yeah,
you
I was
helping
gonna
the child
say
too.
because for one thing, you asking for the children, and
Mhm.
he's sending you
Yeah.
the children.
Mhm.
That parent under you is still a child.
Still a child.
So
Absolutely.
you didn't specify what child that you wanted.
That's true too.
Children under 5.
That's true too. But listen, you impacting the parent, you impacting
Yes,
the
and
child
that's
too.
right. Absolutely.
Hey, y'all,
Directly.
it's 7:31. Let's go take a quick commercial and we'll be right back.
7:30.
It's 7:30 already.
Commercial.
Time passes when we're having fun.
Okay. All right. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for custom handcrafted fashion jewelry that makes a statement, look no further than Linda S. Jewelry, 1426. We specialize in quality pieces fit for any occasion. Follow us on Facebook at Linda S. Jewelry 1426 to view our inventory or to make a purchase. And don't forget to mention Stunner Radio sent you.
Hey, welcome back.
welcome
Welcome
back.
back. We
Welcome
have
back
the
with the
beautiful
beautiful
Karen
Karen
Gray.
Gray.
Yes. So, Karen, I was going to start our whole conversation in reference to all the modeling that you've done and, this and that. But this life coach and you being the coach and you being the consultant, I'm like, I'm blown away.
Because I can't wait to talk about how that pipeline you have to keeping our black men and our black boys out of prison.
Yes.
That's
We can go
exactly
on
right.
into this because
that's
Karen got
basically
so
the
much. We'll
mission.
need 16,
Sure.
16 episodes to follow all of this right here. But let's talk about that.
Not
Let's talk
16.
about that,
So
Karen.
how did you
Sure.
start that? I know God put it on your heart because that's a big
Definitely.
test.
Yes.
Well, okay. So it kind of started with me like liking mental health. Like I think mental health is super duper important. I was a behavior interventionist and an administrator. So I worked a lot with kids who needed like additional social and emotional support. So I started looking at programs to maybe go back to be a counselor or therapist. I was like, I'm 40. I don't really want to get like another master's or undergrad degree. What can I do that's kind of similar? Now, mental health therapist is very different from life coaching, but there are some similarities in what you do. So I signed up for a program. It was pretty expensive. I was like, ooh, because they had something you could do for $99 that was really quick. But then there was this one that I just really loved. And you would get nutrition and life coach certification in one. So I wanted to learn, but y'all, like I got coached. Like that's the only way I can say it. Like it grew me as an individual in many ways. My marriage, my expectations for my business and my company. So I was able to take that skill set to help coach teachers. So that's how I marry the two. So I'm a life coach and I can help you with life goals and set up things and situate yourself. But my passion is to use it with teachers to help them situate themselves. Because when you really think about it, I mean, we don't, as a school system and systems, we don't really like do mental health for the adults because we figure they got it. We don't really plan with them. But y'all, they're not well too. So how do we expect them to be their best self for kids?
Right.
So I wanted to take what I learned, coach them for personal and coach them for academics, for behavior, for managing students. So I've just combined all that together into my consulting business.
Wow.
And teachers need that.
Yeah.
So many teachers are just so into the classroom. I recently went for an interview. I decided I was going to teach some school. So I walked into and they had like a panel of people who were going to interview us. And they said, well, as soon as the kids leave out, we're going to interview. This student, it was junior high school. This student came in and cussed that teacher out from A to B. I did my hand like this, like the little church finger. They said, where you going, Miss Fisher? See, y'all trying to send me to the penitentiary. I'm going back home with my babies.
Yeah. I'm not going to talk back.
You hear those stories, but I actually witnessed it. Student just cussing this teacher out, and there's nothing she can do.
Yeah.
Well,
nothing she can do.
So this is my question when I go in, right? Because I know exactly what you're talking about because currently I work with I work with all age levels, and I've worked everywhere. I've been in Arizona, I've been in Chicago, so I've been able to see like national things, like not just little Louisiana, little
Uh-huh.
Lafayette Parish where I am. I've been able to kind of spot check here and there. I know things are transitioning. I know kids are different. They do exactly what you said they just did. But the one thing that we don't do is ask the adult what they did to receive that. And I
Mm.
know that might sound weird, but because of my experience, I've seen some teachers talk down to students,
Yes.
embarrass them, talk about them to other teachers, and then
Right.
when that student walks in and get cussed out, it's like, oh, they cussed me out. Yeah,
Mm.
but there's probably a reason why.
Yeah.
Reason why,
There's
right?
And
there's something missing.
the reasoning the reasoning that and I was in the school system for a short period of time,
Mhm.
and I didn't want to I didn't want to go through the whole thing. I was still old school. I still believed in I'm the grown up. Even if
Yeah.
I said something, I have to come back as a grown up and say, okay, well, Karen, well, Miss Scott didn't mean it that way. Come here, let me talk to you. But what I had learned from that teaching area was that they forgot that they were the same age as those kids at one time.
Yes.
So now that I am grown, it's all about what I said, and you don't have to do this, and you doing this right here to the kids. Your neck going at this is a child that you're talking to. So I agree, Karen, that the teachers do things, not all of them, but they
Not
do
all. Not
things
all.
that they do things to kids to make kids so we call disrespect. Because
I
you
think we forget.
disrespect me as well.
Right. We forget that they're human too. It's like
Right.
we expect kids not to have emotions, not to
Right.
get mad. You know, typical raising, right? You too young to be mad. You know, you're too
Right.
young for this. You're not allowed to have like feelings about things.
Right.
But they do have feelings about things. And sometimes, and especially like thinking about kids who come to us without their basic needs being met, like kids who live in poverty, who come to us
Right.
with more problems than we have.
Right.
We don't always, as educators, do a good job understanding that child. You
Right.
know, sometimes we look at very basic behaviors as something that's completely aggressive,
Mm-hmm.
something that's so disrespectful, but it's accepted in their home. And
Mm.
so for me, if I take some time to understand you as a person, and when you said earlier, it's not all teachers, it's not. And
Right.
those teachers that you're talking about that do a good job with students, they don't have the same issues that other teachers have.
Right.
But
Right.
I feel like it's a very small percentage. And I'm speaking from just my experience with the schools and people I've dealt with. Miss Linda, I'm telling you, like I would give it a very small 10% of teachers understand kids and love them enough to become empathetic, to understand who they are and to give them what they need. Otherwise, it's just all exclusionary. Get out my room, you know, disrespecting them. And then when you get disrespected back, it's like the kid's
It's a
done. They're out.
right.
They're out of
Right.
there. And
That
then,
encounter my daughter had with that particular teacher, she totally disrespected her. And it was just being disrespectful was not in it is not in my daughter's character at all. But she came home and her father actually witnessed the teacher being disrespectful to her. So I told her not to handle it. Please don't you handle it. I will go up there and take care of it. But she was totally disrespectful.
So do
and
you
that happens a lot.
do you enjoy the traveling to the different schools? And I heard you say Chicago, and you're a strong woman going in Chicago with a lot of stuff going on in there.
And it was a very big school like that. I'm done with that contract, so I don't go there anymore. But it was a South Chicago, very big school, lots and lots of kids, and they had a lot of stuff that went on there, honestly. And y'all, besides the fact that we don't know how to build relationships and show respect to students, we ain't teaching either. And we
Right.
wonder why our kids don't perform.
Right.
You know, like it's just everything's laid back. But this is what I do understand. I understand that we have to prioritize things. So if you're in a busy school with a lot of crime and violence, you do have to prioritize that a little bit, right? But we just need to do better as a whole. Like honestly, I have to say the education system is a disappointment right now, honestly.
Yes, it is.
But it's okay. So now on behalf of the some teachers are
Sure.
there just to get a check, and then some teachers are there to teach,
Yeah, so some teachers
but
are passionate
they
about what they do.
are limited on what they could teach because
Absolutely.
they can only teach the FCAT. I say
Mhm.
if you teach the kid 1+1=2, you don't have to teach them the FCAT. They're gonna go and pass it anyway. So
Yeah.
once I pass the FCAT, what do I know? Because you only taught me about that. So
And that's an obstacle.
yeah,
And it's a reason why a lot of teachers are exiting. I mean, I can speak from personal experience with the school I was at. It was a lot of teachers who left because they have no autonomy anymore, y'all. Like you have to teach this curriculum this way, no matter if you know something else is best for the child, that doesn't matter.
So
So
it's
it's
the
an obstacle.
teaching is not the way it was when I was in school, where they, like I say, they taught us 1+1. How did we get 1+1=2? How did all of that, the formula that they used, it was it helped all more of my peers to get to where we are. And then I look back at some of my grandkids
How
peers,
it's being taught. Yeah.
right, and the writing played a major part in everything that we did. And those kids can't write in courtesy. They can't.
Miss
Everything is
Linda.
a print.
Everything is a WTF. Everything is BRB. And listen, they write like that. And it's
Yes.
you're right. Like grammar and writing is not a priority like as much as it used to be. So it's a struggle. I mean, I have 2 teenagers at home, one starting college, and she struggles with writing. And then she went through the COVID thing, right? Where they're
Right.
being taught by a computer and not a human. And
Right.
so it's a struggle. Like I'm just curious on what colleges are going to do, with entering freshmen who can't write. Like I'm concerned about that. It's tough though. It really is.
Wow.
But we're teaching to a test.
I took my son to buy a car, and when he got ready to sign his name, he printed his name. No, son.
Yep. No more cursive writing.
Cursive.
Yeah.
And I was just shocked. So now with my daughter, I'm teaching her myself to write in cursive. How to sign his name.
Yeah.
I was like,
everything else has come in and taken over.
It's
tough being a teacher right now, which is why so many teachers are exiting. And I know in Texas, y'all have a ton of teachers and administrators exiting.
Yeah. Yes.
Exit.
It's crazy.
Exit because the TEA is taking over the biggest school district,
right?
The Houston Independent School District.
Yeah,
they
I saw
take
that.
it over. They fired the teachers, making them reapply. In some of the schools where they scored really, really low, they're making those teachers reapply for their jobs.
And so who they're gonna put in there though? They got people knocking down the doors to get in, or what?
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna take.
So where are we? Where are we today with our kids? With all of that you've gone through, from the shyness to the consultant. Who is that? Betty said something. I can't read it.
She says remedial class is unfortunate. Betty Brand said remedial class is unfortunate.
And that's not effective either because they're not doing it correctly. They're just throwing kids in a room, giving them packets, and that's it. That's not remediating. Remediating means reteaching, and that's not happening in most cases. I'm not going to say everybody. Like I don't want to speak like to everybody, but I'm just from experience, they're not doing that right either. So it's really not closing any gaps.
Wow. I don't know. I was getting ready to say, I dress men at this organization. And today, or a couple of days ago, this young man came in because I need to look at your signature and make sure you did it. But this young man was, I want to say he was like 23 or something like that. And he printed LINDA. I said, well, baby, is that your signature? And he was like, oh, yes, ma'am. Now just draw a name and put a dot on it. I mean, no, he draw a line and put a dot on it. I said, so LINDA, a line and a dot.
Yeah.
And that's your signature?
Yeah, things have changed, y'all. I'm telling you, it's like we need to start completely over. I don't even know what that looks like. Though in my field and like what I do as a consultant, to me, it all starts with relationships. And if we can have positive relationships with our students and we can respect them, they're gonna listen. That's the higher chance of you have to teach them. Because if you just out here acting like them,
Right.
talking like them,
Right.
treating them bad, and when they say something back, we just gonna throw them out, get suspended,
Right.
put them back on the street.
Right.
They're not learning anything. So to me,
Anything.
that's half the battle, because right now we know behavior. Like if you look, like nationwide, behavior is on the rise. Like
Right. Yeah.
negative classroom behavior, kids getting kicked out, suspensions, expulsions, things of that nature is happening, and it's very, very, like, it's just bad right now. So where do you start with that?
Betty Brant said they don't teach cursive writing anymore.
At
They
all.
do
They
not.
sure don't. Not at all.
So
Not at
let's
all.
hold on to that thought. We need to take another commercial break, and we'll be right back with the beautiful Karen Gray.
All right.
If you live in Houston and surrounding areas and are in need of quality childcare, contact Cuckoo's Treasures today. We provide professional childcare in a caring and nurturing environment. Do you work second or third shift or don't have a typical schedule? Cuckoo's Treasures can assist you. We're open 24 hours and some weekends. Give us a call today at 346-313-9064. And don't forget to mention Stunner Radio sent you.
Wow, this is a lot. This is a lot, but not enough.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
But tell us a little bit about the keeping our Black guys out
of prison.
Yeah, so that's kind of the mission of my company. Like, I just have this vision just to bring awareness, right, to what actually happens. So when you look at statistics for Black and brown boys, they are suspended at much higher rates than their counterparts, than other white students. It's like 3, sometimes 5 times more. That's extremely high. Suspensions, expulsions, any exclusionary practice is directly connected to the pipeline to prison. So data shows that when kids are suspended and expelled, usually at some point in their life, they end up in the prison system. So I think we need to just take a different approach. Like right now, that's the go-to. It's called zero tolerance policies. Mm-hmm. Most school districts have it. And what it is, it doesn't matter what you do. Like zero tolerance policies originally was the justice system, right? To control drugs and weapons. Understandable. In 1994, the school systems decided that they were going to adopt it as well for the same reason, for big things, drugs and weapons. But now we're using it for little things. Mm-hmm. Not having material, refusal to do work, talking back. Like all of those things can get you suspended and expelled from school. Now you might have to do it. Oh yeah. Like you might have to do it a few times. They might say, okay, on your 4th office referral. It doesn't matter what the 4 office referrals are for. If it was talking in class, putting your head down, refusal to do work, talking back to the teacher, that's 4 things. And then you're going home for a suspension.
Wow.
So there's no remediation. There's no conversation. There's no modeling and teaching of the behavior that I want to see. It's just this expectation that you're supposed to do what I say because I say it. That don't really work no more, y'all.
It doesn't.
It does not.
It don't. So, and then maybe I missed it. And so, your company is gonna do.
I help them look at a restorative approach. So restorative approaches is like a mediating system. Mm-hmm. Like we want to make things right. So if I'm disrespectful to my teacher, how can I make that right with my teacher? Well, we need to sit and talk about it. Well, what did I say that made you feel that way? And how did this make you feel? And we actually get it out in the open. Why did you react that way? So just simply like a questioning pattern to understand the why of the student's behavior. The teacher has an opportunity to give her perception. The student has an opportunity to give his or hers. And then we come to an agreement of what we're going to do moving forward. But right now, current practices, we don't do that. It's like, oh, you're talking back to me because I told you something disrespectful, right? Get out. You're done. You're getting a write-up. You're suspended. So that's our norm. And so my job is to come in and help you shift your climate and culture to more relationship-based. What can we do to heal the harm? What can we do to mend the relationship? Because when you look at behaviors, peer-to-peer conflict and disrespect to authority is probably the top two things that you're going to see discipline issues with in schools.
Wow. Wow. Okay. All right. That's interesting.
So you're more like a advocate
Yeah.
or
A
a
mediator.
like in between, because not an advocate because you listen to both sides.
Right.
I do. I would say I'm both, but my job is as a consultant is I come in, I meet with the leaders of the school, the teachers of the school, and I train them on altering their mindset. Because going from zero tolerance to restorative practices, it's like literally like a paradigm shift. It's like asking someone to change their religion because we've been doing it so long in this way. It's like, how can we shift? So the key to what I do is to get them to shift their mindset, to see things in a different way. And that's where that life coaching portion comes in.
Right. Okay.
I think our teachers need that life coaching
real bad.
Real bad. I think
they do.
That's really beneficial.
Yeah.
For many reasons, personal and professionally.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. This is so good. I am so proud of you. Let me say that. I am so proud of you. I'm proud that you allowed God to use you, and you were strong enough to say, okay, God, bring it on.
Bring it to me. I'm ready to move forward. Send me some challenges to grow me to where I need to be.
Wow. And you got the best ones. I told you this once I heard you say Chicago, I said, oh, she was really crazy. She was crazy. Wait a minute, let me help my child, please, Lord. Please.
Fun times.
that is awesome, Karen. How could anybody out there assist you in any way in anything that you're doing?
Well, assist me. Shoot, let me assist you. Like if you need some help, if anybody out there listening needs like some training for their teachers or personal training for yourself, I do one-on-one small groups with groups of teachers as well. Let me assist you in bettering our students. Let me assist with that.
That's awesome. See, that's how you get that answer. How they can help you so that you can come out and tell them the real way of doing things.
Yeah.
If you're helping our teachers, we all benefit from that.
Yeah, absolutely. As a family, yes,
as a family,
totally.
Society.
Yeah.
Our kids need someone in their corner.
Cook big time.
They do. And I help the teachers get in their corner.
Right.
So that's my approach. I want them to understand how to get in the kids' corner instead of just shunning them.
The kids spend more time with their teachers than they do with their parents.
Absolutely.
That's why my focus is on them, because I feel like if we can get them and have them shift that mindset, I feel like that's like huge. That would be so huge for making that change.
That is this whole conversation, and you and I were talking, and then we hung up with each other really quick because we was going to go deep into what we were talking about. But this is the place that I work. I immediately said yes to them because I knew our men, our boys, our young men, our old men, because we've had them. Well, I've seen them up to, I think 70 was the oldest one that I had to deal with. And to talk to these young men.
Absolutely.
It's like, oh my God, Jesus, help me out right now. It's I won't say that it drains me because it encouraged me to go back. Right. I look forward to going back to see what's going to happen. I look forward to saying, hey, I'm looking for you to be the next president. I'm looking for you to be the next Congress. I'm just looking for you to be that next counselor to tell them not to do what you just did. And if they do, this is the price that they're going to have to pay.
Yeah, like pouring into them.
Yes.
Pouring into them constantly. They don't all have it. And sometimes, y'all, unfortunately, kids will go K to 12 and not have a teacher that they can say poured into them in a positive way. Who else to do it if not them? We have them 8 hours a day.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's,
You know,
yeah,
5 to
I do.
18 years old. Like we have to pour. And if you would do a survey, because I read some data, some research data, where they
Hmm.
were asking like students, like how many teachers did you have that you feel made an impact on you? Y'all know what the answer is?
Wow.
One, maybe two, sometimes three. So that's the average of two teachers. You've been in school from K to 12. That's 13
Wow.
years. And you've
Wow.
had one or two teachers that have impacted your life.
But
Wow.
I always think
That's,
about the kids who have a abusive household,
yeah.
who are dysfunctional household, and
Yes.
they come to school and just
Mm.
one teacher just could embrace their child and smile at him, or it goes a
Long
long
way.
way.
But
It
it's
goes a
Way.
typically
long
the
way.
opposite. It's typically the opposite. And I'm saying typical, not all, but I'm telling you, 80% of the time for them, it's the opposite. Why? Because their behavior, what they say, how they act, what they do, the teacher's taking it personal. It's not
Mm.
personal.
It's
It's
not
not a
personal.
personal thing. You have to be able to separate that. And
And
so I
sometimes
try
they're
to,
just crying out.
yep.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're just crying out.
They are, but the fact that I don't know that that's what's happening is so sad.
And
Right,
that's
That's
where
right.
you
what's so
come
sad.
in.
And
That's where
that's
you,
where I come in to try to
right.
shift that thinking and how you
Right.
reframe ideas in your mind. Because
Right.
you're thinking one way, oh, you're defiant, you're disrespectful, you're mean, you're this, like all this all these biases and all
Yes.
this bad perception that you have. So I help them to reframe that thinking. And when you reframe your thinking, your behavior changes.
It
It
does.
does.
It
It does.
does.
It does.
So
Absolutely.
when students aren't responding to teachers in a positive way, there is something that they're seeing in that teacher that isn't genuine, or something that the
Mm.
teacher said, something
Mhm.
that they did that has that student side on. And you know they read everything, y'all. Y'all know that.
Right, right,
They
Everything.
right.
don't miss
Everything.
a thing.
Just like we read them, they read
They
us.
read us.
They read
And
us.
absolutely, absolutely. I really hate that I say that, but
But they
them the
do.
jokers do
They do.
read you,
They do.
They
and
do.
they know when you're real with them. They
And
know
they
when you
gonna
don't
call
want to
you.
be. That's it.
They're gonna
That's
call
it.
you on it, and they're gonna
Yeah,
tell you you're fake. But then the
yeah.
teacher gets mad, but you are
Mad
being fake.
because you being
Ask me
fake.
why.
Yeah.
And let me ask you why am I being fake? What am I doing that's making you say that?
Right.
We don't
Right.
ask that though. We say get
Right.
out. Go.
Yeah. We write you up and go,
We
okay,
gotta do
you gotta
better.
get out of
We
here.
gotta do
He's
better.
being rude. He's being
Yeah.
rude.
I had a
But
3-year-old ask me this morning, "Are you having a bad day?"
ooh,
And I mean, because it was just all over me. I woke up in
Yes.
a bad mood. Are
Yes.
you having a bad day? And I had
uh,
to check my attitude because I got to be with these kids for the rest of
That
the
works. That works. Because
uh,
sometimes if I pull up at like a fast food restaurant and I can hear it, they rushing me and I can just hear them,
right.
I'll be like, how are you today? How you doing? And
Uh,
most of the time they're like shocked and it's like, oh, I'm good. I'm okay. I'm just busy. I'm rushing. It'll cause them to
thought that,
reflect,
right,
just
right,
like you
right,
said.
right.
I do it all the time. And my daughters be like, Mama, you crazy. I'm like, no, people need to,
Here.
sometimes they just need to
with their
hear, or
attitude.
maybe
They do.
somebody's checking on me. Maybe
Right.
that's it. Somebody's
Yeah.
asking me how I'm doing today.
I am, yeah. And we don't do that. We're so afraid nowadays to even
Yeah.
say, we're afraid to say hello.
A
And
hundred
so
percent.
yeah, I say hello.
Yeah.
What you said hello to me for?
Right.
You and I
Okay.
had a conversation a couple of weeks ago about how you approach these young people. You have to approach them correctly. Now, why you got your pants undone? Why you got, come on, young man, let me have a conversation with you. Instead
Yeah.
of just jumping down their throats from the
Yeah.
very beginning.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
It's all about
Those
the
are the
approach.
things that I say to her as well, to anybody who I speak within the last 3-4 months, is when I'm putting a suit or a pair of pants on a young man and he pull them
Mhm.
down. Hey, what are you doing? Pull them pants right on back up, put this belt on, and when I finish with you, I want you to look in the mirror. And it's like,
Uh-huh.
oh man,
Uh-huh.
they got to go through their little
Mhm.
justice, but
Yes.
hey,
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. I say, you look good, don't you? Yes,
hmm
ma'am.
But they
Thank you so
respond to
much.
you in a
Yes,
positive way because
yes,
you've done something to touch them, impact them. You talk to
yes.
them with respect, so they're gonna automatically be like, "Yes, ma'am, I'm gonna pick my
Yeah,
pants up."
right,
But
right.
when you don't treat them good, they're not gonna treat you good.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Ladies,
It's that
It's 8
time.
o'clock.
Oh,
Okay,
that was so
okay, wait.
fast.
Well, it did. It went
It
really
did.
fast. So,
It
but
always
Karen,
fast when you're having fun.
it does.
It does.
Hey, but I want to mention that our little brother, Cat TV, Colin Thompson, is having his Most City movie. He's
Most
having the
City
red
movie.
carpet and all this stuff right
Oh.
there. I think it's July 9th. So if you go to Eventbrite, you'll look for his Most City movie.
Yeah.
So you guys go and check him out and support each other. July 9th. Yeah. So go to Eventbrite, look it up, and support him. We all need to support each other. So with that being said, Karen, thank you
Yes.
so much for being our
Thank
special
y'all for
guest.
having me.
And, oh, girl, we have to do it again. We have to do it
Absolutely.
again. We have to do it
Absolutely.
again.
We didn't even get all the way to the
We the
nitty-gritty.
poor, yeah.
We didn't. Well,
did.
y'all have me back. I'm coming.
Okay.
Everybody
Okay.
back.
And listen,
Yes, ma'am.
everybody, I know she's gonna say, I don't know what she's gonna say, but anyway, here's the thing. Ashley Ferguson, you bring your friend to Houston, Texas, the weekend of November 3rd to the 5th. Now, I don't know if she's gonna get on the runway, but we'll have her somewhere doing something. Lord,
You can put me to work, but not doing that, please.
Okay,
There's
so
a lot you can do, Karen,
that's
without getting on the
that's
runway.
it. So, but my baby will be in town. How about that? And Ashley,
Yes,
thank you
ma'am.
so much, because Ashley did makeup for me down in Miami.
Yes.
So, hey, Shaida. Shaida say good night, ladies. All right, so we gotta go. We love you. We'll see you all really, really good.
We love you too, Colin.
Okay, he made me mess that up, but I love you, Karen. Hang on in
Love
there.
y'all
Don't go
too.
away. We'll talk to you in a little second. But thank you all
Okay.
so much for joining
Thanks
us
for
tonight.
joining us.
Good night.